Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Global English Learning Podcast. My name is Foster, and I am very happy to connect with you today, no matter where you are listening from. Maybe you are walking, cooking, relaxing, driving, or preparing for work or school. Thank you for choosing this podcast as part of your learning journey. Today's topic is Stop Studying English the Wrong Way, Do This Instead. And I believe it will help you change the way you learn English forever. Many people study English for several years, but they still cannot speak, understand, or express themselves confidently. They know grammar rules, they memorize long vocabulary lists, and they watch lessons, but when it is time to speak, everything disappears from the brain. Some people even think they are not smart enough or too old to learn. Others believe English is only for talented people or lucky students, but that is not true. The real reason is often because they are using the wrong study method, not because they are weak or slow learners. In this episode, we will learn how to study English the right way, how to make faster progress, how to speak more naturally, how to remember vocabulary easily, and how to build confidence step by step. By the end of this podcast, you will clearly understand what to stop doing and what new habits to start using immediately. So, before we move on, please help our learning community grow. Like this episode, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you will never miss our future lessons. Also, feel free to share this podcast with your friends, classmates, or English groups. The world needs more confident English speakers, and you are about to become one of them. Before we learn the correct method, let us first understand why many English learners fail or progress very slowly. When you know the cause, it becomes easier to fix it. One of the biggest problems is that many learners focus too much on studying English like a school subject instead of training English like a real-life skill. For example, when someone studies mathematics, they focus on formulas, memorization, and written answers. But languages are different. A language requires practice, repetition, daily exposure, and real usage, not only theory. Another common mistake is that learners spend most of their time on grammar rules, textbook drills, and memorizing vocabulary lists that they never actually use. For example, some learners can explain the present perfect tense, but cannot talk about their daily routine confidently. Others know hundreds of English words, but they cannot use those words in a simple conversation. This happens because knowing something is not the same as using it. Many students also study in silence. They think that understanding English in their head means they will speak fluently. But speaking requires mouth muscle training, confidence, voice control, and listening rhythm, not only mental understanding. Another mistake is waiting for the perfect moment to speak, or thinking they must become advanced first. Fluency starts from simple sentences, not perfect sentences. Finally, some learners compare themselves with other people. They feel embarrassed, shy, or afraid of making mistakes. This fear blocks speaking ability because mistakes are a natural part of learning. Even native speakers make mistakes every day, especially when speaking fast. In the next chapter, we will talk about what you must stop doing immediately if you want to succeed. Now that we understand the common mistakes, let us talk about what you must stop doing immediately if you want to improve your English faster, easier, and more naturally. First, stop trying to memorize long vocabulary lists without context. Learning words alone, without real sentences, conversations, or situations, will make you forget them quickly. Instead, learn vocabulary inside short sentences and real-life examples. Second, stop focusing only on grammar rules before you start speaking. Grammar is important, but it should not be your first priority. Children learn to speak before they learn grammar rules, and you can do the same. Think about how babies learn. They listen, Repeat, copy, and try. They make many mistakes, but they are not judged, so they grow confidently. Third, stop translating every word from your native language to English inside your mind. This slows you down and creates confusion. Instead, try to think in easy, simple English. For example, instead of translating, "What should I cook for dinner?" maybe start thinking like this: food. What can I make? Maybe rice. Maybe soup. Simple thinking leads to faster speaking. Fourth, stop studying English only once in a while. Learning for 1 hour a week is not enough. English improvement needs small daily contact, even just 10 to 15 minutes per day. Consistency is more powerful than perfection. Fifth, stop being afraid of mistakes or judgment. Mistakes are not failure, they are evidence of progress. The only people who never make mistakes are the ones who never try. Your goal is communication, not perfection. In the next chapter, we will learn what you must start doing instead and how to build real fluency step by step. Now let us focus on what you should do instead if you truly want to speak English naturally, confidently, and fluently. The most powerful method is to treat English like a daily life habit, not a school subject. Think of English like brushing your teeth, taking a shower, eating, or checking your phone. When something becomes a habit, it no longer feels difficult, it becomes automatic. The first new action is daily exposure. You must surround yourself with English every single day, even in small doses. Listen to short English audios, watch simple English clips, read short English messages, or speak to yourself in English for just a few minutes. This builds familiarity, comfort, and confidence. The second action is learn in context. Always learn English inside real-life situations. For example, if you learn the word hungry, also learn sentences like, "I am hungry," "She is hungry," "Are you hungry?" "I was hungry this morning," "We are hungry, let's eat." When vocabulary lives inside sentences, your brain stores it faster and longer. The third action is shadowing practice. This means listening to a native or fluent speaker and repeating immediately, trying to match rhythm, tone, and speed. This trains your mouth and ears together, which is exactly how fluency develops. The fourth action is use English to communicate, not to impress. Speak simple but clear English, even if it is not perfect. Very advanced sentences are not necessary for daily life. Most fluent speakers use simple expressions and natural phrases rather than complicated vocabulary. The fifth action is track small progress. Celebrate improvements like understanding a short video, correctly pronouncing a word, or speaking for 30 seconds without stopping. Every small win builds long-term fluency. In the next chapter, we will explain the secret formula for real fluency. Now let us talk about the secret fluency formula that successful English learners follow even if they never traveled abroad, never studied in an English-speaking country, and never attended expensive private classes. The simple but powerful formula is input plus output plus consistency plus emotion equals real fluency. Let us break it down clearly and slowly. Input means what enters your brain. Listening, reading, watching, and observing. The more positive and correct English you expose yourself to, the more your brain collects patterns, pronunciation, grammar structure, and natural expressions without effort. Good input includes short podcasts, English subtitles, simple movies, children's stories, and conversations with fluent speakers. Output means producing English, speaking and writing. Many learners stay only on input, but without output, fluency cannot grow. Your brain must learn to use what it knows. Speaking to yourself, voice recording, chatting in English, or joining speaking groups all count as output. Even 1 minute per day is valuable. Consistency is the engine of success. Imagine going to the gym only once a month. You will not see results. Fluency grows from small, repeated contact. 10 to 20 minutes daily is more powerful than 3 hours once a week. Emotion is the energy that makes the brain remember better. When you learn something interesting, funny, emotional, personal, or useful, your memory becomes stronger. For example, you will remember a phrase used in a song or emotional video more than a phrase in a textbook. Learn things that connect with your real life, topics such as family, food, feelings, travel, dreams, work, and personal goals. When all 4 parts work together, your fluency grows faster, more naturally, and more confidently. In the next chapter, we will learn how to train your speaking muscle, even if you do not have a speaking partner. Many learners think they cannot speak English well because they do not have a partner, a foreign friend, or a native speaker to practice with. But the truth is this: fluency begins inside you, not with another person. To speak well, you must train your mouth muscles, tongue movement, breathing, rhythm, and confidence. Just like musicians practice instruments and athletes practice their bodies, English learners must practice speaking, not only learning silently. One powerful method is self-talk training. This means talking to yourself in simple English about everyday topics. For example, when preparing food, say, "I am cooking rice. I will add salt. It smells good." When walking, say, "The weather is warm. I see children playing. I feel relaxed." This exercise trains fluency, not perfection. Another effective method is voice recording. Record short messages in English for 20 to 30 seconds, then listen again. You will notice pronunciation, speed, and clarity. Over time, your recordings will sound more natural and you will feel more confident. You can also practice shadowing, which means listening to native or fluent speakers and immediately repeating their words, tone, and rhythm. For example, play a short audio sentence, pause, and copy it exactly. This helps you sound more natural and improves listening comprehension. Additionally, practice slow speaking first, not fast speaking. Fluency comes from clarity, not speed. When your brain becomes comfortable, speed will increase naturally. Finally, remember, confidence grows from participation, not perfection. Do not say, "I will speak when I am perfect." Instead say, "I will speak so that I can become better." One of the biggest challenges in English learning is vocabulary. Many students say, "I forget words easily," or "I know words but cannot use them when speaking." The problem is not your memory. The problem is your method. Vocabulary becomes strong only when it is learned through connection, emotion, and usage, not memorization. A smart way to learn vocabulary is to use the 3C method: connect, create, and communicate. 1. Connect the word to real meaning. Do not learn a word alone. Connect it to an image, feeling, or situation. For example, when learning the word delicious, imagine your favorite meal. When learning the word exhausted, imagine coming home after a long, tiring day. The brain remembers pictures faster than plain text. 2. Create personal sentences. Instead of copying dictionary examples, make your own short sentences that relate to your life. For example, "This food is delicious." "My mother cooks delicious soup." "I am exhausted after work." "My sister was exhausted yesterday." personal sentences are easier to remember because they feel real. 3. Communicate using the word. Use the new word in speech or writing immediately, even if it feels difficult. You can say it out loud, record yourself, write a short message, or use it in a speaking activity. The brain keeps what it uses, not what it reads. Also, avoid learning words that you never use in real life. Focus on vocabulary related to family, work, school, emotions, daily life, shopping, travel, and personal goals. These are the words that build strong communication. In the next chapter, we will learn how listening builds natural fluency faster than grammar rules and how to practice listening correctly. Now let us focus on listening, which is one of the most powerful skills for building natural fluency. Many learners believe that they must first master grammar rules and vocabulary before they can speak well. However, in real language development, listening comes before speaking, just like babies. Babies listen for months before they say a single word. They learn rhythm, pronunciation, tone, and sentence patterns through listening, not textbooks. Adults can learn in the same way. Good listening is not simply hearing English. It is active listening. Active listening means paying attention to how words sound, how sentences flow, and how native or fluent speakers express feelings. When you listen often, your brain automatically learns grammar patterns without trying to memorize them. You begin to feel what sounds correct instead of overthinking rules. To improve listening, choose content that is simple, slow, and interesting. You do not need complicated movies or advanced lectures. Start with children's stories, beginner podcasts, simple interviews, English songs with lyrics, or short YouTube lessons. Listen many times. Repetition is more powerful than difficulty. Another useful technique is micro-listening practice. This means taking a short 5 to 10 second audio clip and pausing it and trying to repeat exactly what you heard. This trains your ears and mouth at the same time. Even 5 minutes daily can create big improvement. Also, do not worry if you don't understand every word. Understanding the main idea is more important than understanding every detail. Over time, your comprehension will naturally increase. In the next chapter, we will learn a real-life success story that shows how these methods work, even without traveling abroad or joining expensive schools. Let me share a short real-life success story that shows how a change in learning method can completely transform someone's English ability. There was a young woman named Maria from Brazil. She studied English for almost 8 years in school. She knew grammar rules, she passed exams, and she could read basic English, but she could not speak with confidence. Whenever she tried to speak, she felt blocked, nervous, and afraid of mistakes. She believed she was not talented enough to speak English fluently. One day she discovered a new study method online. She learned that English should be trained, not only studied. So she stopped memorizing long vocabulary lists and stopped spending hours analyzing grammar rules. Instead, she started using English every day in small but powerful ways. She listened to short English podcasts while walking. She spoke to herself in simple sentences while cooking. And she recorded her voice every morning before work. She also learned vocabulary through personal sentences. When she learned the word proud, she wrote, "I am proud of myself for learning English." When she learned the word improve, she practiced, "I will improve a little every day." Little by little, her confidence grew. 3 months later, she joined an online speaking group for beginners. At first, she made mistakes, but she continued speaking. 6 months later, she was able to communicate clearly and comfortably. After a year, she got a job opportunity where English was required. Today, she helps other learners because she understands their struggles. Maria did not travel abroad. She did not spend a lot of money. She simply changed her method, added emotion, used consistency, and believed in herself. You can do the same. Thank you so much for staying with me from the beginning of this podcast until the end. I want you to take a deep breath and feel proud of yourself. You did not just listen, you learned, you reflected, and you practiced. That is exactly what successful English learners do. Remember, your English journey is not about being perfect, fast, or highly talented. It's about being consistent, courageous, and open to improvement. From today, I want you to believe that you can speak English confidently. You can build fluency. You can communicate clearly with people from different countries. No matter your age, background, education, job, accent, or past experience, you have everything you need to succeed. The most powerful tools are already inside you: your motivation, your curiosity, and your commitment. Please continue practicing every day, even if it is only a few minutes. Talk to yourself, listen to English audio, write short messages, and learn with emotion. Do not wait for a perfect time. Start from where you are with what you have. Fluency grows when you use English, not when you wait. Also, remember that mistakes are not your enemy. Mistakes are your teachers. Every time you make a mistake, it means your brain is trying, learning, and growing. Be patient, be kind to yourself, and celebrate small progress. Thank you once again for joining this episode. If you found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share so other learners can also benefit. You are not alone. We are learning together as a global community. Keep practicing, keep believing, and keep moving forward. I am Foster, and I can't wait to speak with you again in our next lesson. Stay motivated, stay confident, and stay connected with English. Goodbye for now.